Hey guys, it's Missy here. I am working on recording my album Cycles. I'm actually doing a music video for you guys as we speak, so I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes, give some updates. I'm gonna be recording my song Green for the new album Cycles. There are going to be 9 songs on Cycles. Actually, no, I should say 8 songs and 1 spoken word. So it's gonna be definitely an album that it's a lot of transparency for me, putting this album out. And instead of being afraid of that, I'm actually excited for that because I'm not afraid to be bashed publicly anymore like I used to be. I mean, I have been scared for so many years of the church, and that probably sounds kind of crazy because for you guys that know me and have known me for the past few years on YouTube, I mean, I've been in full-time ministry for almost 10 years, I would say. And that whole time, it's like I was just shaking in my boots, just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that's not a way to live. That's not Christ. That's not right that I was afraid for so long. It was kind of like the mafia was coming after me, by people that, were supposed to love me and accept me fully with open arms. And yet, no matter how hard I tried, it just, I always had to change myself to be accepted. And so that's kind of what this album, I shouldn't say kind of, that's pretty much what this album Cycles is about. And we have the songs. Give you a little sneak peek if I can. It's gonna be good, and I feel like a lot of my friends that I've picked up along the way, through Christian ministry, who really know and love me, will really appreciate this album. It's called Cycles because we go through these toxic cycles in life with relationships, with family members, with romantic relationships, with friendships. And have you ever felt like, why is this happening again? Why is this happening again? And in the charismatic church, we call that sort of stuff like bloodline, generational curses that need to be broken. Other spiritual communities call that cutting the cord. There are, soul ties. There are all sorts of terms for this sort of thing. And that's the sort of things I'm talking about. Those are the sort of things I'm talking about in this album. And I really hope it can serve as kind of a guidepost for people who have felt really trapped in these toxic cycles. Just know, because I'm still coming through it myself, but just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You do not have to stay broken for the rest of your life. I don't care what people tell you with what scriptures they use to back up their abuse. You are, to use a scripture, more than a conqueror. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You don't have to bow down to anybody who is trying to control you or manipulate you or use scripture to try to cause you to lose your mind, and that's more of an extreme example, but I know some of you will understand what I'm talking about. And that is not right. That is not Christ. So we are breaking the cycles. We are cutting the cords. As hard as it is, as confusing as it can feel to kind of start again, I feel like this is an album for people who are ready to move forward, who are ready to move away from toxic cycles, things that have held them back maybe for their whole lives. And there's more to life than suffering. Okay, I just want to say that suffering for the sake of suffering is not holy. If you want to suffer for a cause, That's one thing, you know, because it's hard to push through the muck of life in order to help people and help yourself. It's tough, and that is suffering, but that's the kind of suffering I'm talking about, the mental control games and using scriptures to control and manipulate people. Not anymore, honey. No, 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 no. They got me for 30 years, and I don't want them to get you anymore. So that's why I'm putting this album out, you know, in a sweet, innocent way, just writing some songs, just putting them out, but behind the song is a lifetime of experience of trauma and abuse and pain and overcoming and crawling forward even though everything was pulling me back, and here I sit playing these songs for you guys and trying to love through the storm and deciding that there's a better life, you know, there's a better way. The way is what the first Christians after Christ called what Jesus taught. They called it the way. So I'm following the way. I'm not following modern Christianity. I'm not following leaders that try to control me. I'm not getting entangled with toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse. And you shouldn't either. So I pray that this album is a signpost for you to show you that you can end these toxic cycles in your life and you don't have to live in bondage anymore in the name of suffering for Christ, when it was never suffering for Christ. It was just plain suffering. And so, you know, there's freedom, there's hope, and I just want you to know that. And I love you guys. You've been amazing friends through the years. And I'm excited to be able to express some of my new journey through music and through this new album, Cycles. All right, so it's looking like the album is probably going to be out right after spring begins. I will have a solid date soon enough, but I want this whole thing to be like a spring vibe. You know, it's green. I'm wearing green. Gonna record the song Green today. Green is all about newness, new life, spring. So that's what this album is meant to bring forth. It's meant to leave the toxicity behind and move forward into the truth and into the light. And that's the place we should have always been, right? But we just got a little confused, because when you love people and when you want to do the right thing, sometimes there's some confusion there. And, you know, that's why I wanted to say what I'm saying right now to you guys, that you're not alone. And I love you. And I'll see you soon. Take care.